Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, this meeting will be conducted via remote means. Members of the public who wish to watch or listen to the meeting may do so by video conference only. Login information is in the agenda for this meeting, which is posted at the Town of Topsfield website. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be available, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the Topsfield website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of the proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. Instructions for joining the meeting by Zoom, as I said, are posted in the agenda at the town meeting. I call this meeting to order. This meeting is being recorded via Zoom and also by Boxford Cable TV for future viewing on Topsfield Cable on Demand on the town website. Is there anyone else present who wishes to record the meeting? We are being recorded by one AI, but other than that, there are no other requests. So let me admit two more people who are waiting. Still don't see David Merrill or David Moniz.
I just gave David Moniz the ID to get in, so he hopefully will be logging in momentarily.
Okay, all right. I'm going to text David Merrill. Okay. Well, David appears to be having some trouble joining. So why don't we get started and David will join us when he can. So the first item on our agenda this evening is a continuation with respect to the application for a special permit for 10 School Street, and Topsfield Garages LLC is the applicant. And the meeting, our public hearing portion of the hearing was closed last month, and a draft decision has been circulated to the members of the board and also to the applicant for comment. So let me run through any members of the board have any issues or concerns with respect to the draft decision. And as usual, let me start with who I can see first. So that would be you, Jody.
No, I read the decision. It looks fine. You know, the only thing was kind of an administrative, which was, I think you mentioned an 8-foot fence initially as being initially proposed. And then later on in another meeting, we discussed having an 8-foot fence as a change. And so I'm not sure, I'm not sure how it evolved. It's not a big deal. 8 foot is what we're going with, and I'm fine with it. But that was the only kind of nitpicky thing I saw.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Actually, when we get through the members' comments, 8 foot is where we ended up with.
Right.
And it's going to be vertical.
Okay.
As opposed to horizontal, and the posts will be facing the abutters. Okay, and the applicant had a couple of other comments, which I'll get through once I get members' comments. So, David Moniz?
No, that looks good. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Glenn Colrad?
Yeah, no comments. Looks good.
Okay, all right. And I didn't have any comments either since I drafted it. So let me find. Damn. Okay, so Actually, Tim Collins,
Yeah,
would you like to go over those two? Because I can't find that email.
yeah, it's no problem. I think we can do it verbally. Yeah, there were just a couple, I guess, three different things to comment on. These are, I guess, just suggested changes for you guys to consider, based on discussions with the butters and so forth. One is not so much that, it's just kind of the wording's funny. In the first paragraph of the operations section, after the decision, that was in caps, it talks about the property being able to be used solely for the purposes of the different special permits that are being granted. And obviously, we have no problem with the permits, those are the things that are requested. But the way it's worded, it says solely for that purpose, or solely for the purpose of those special permits. But actually, the property is permitted to be used as a full-service restaurant. So the idea is it's going to be a full-service restaurant. We needed to get the additional limited service restaurant to be able to do takeout, which I think was commented on. That's kind of funny. I think there might be some changes to the bylaws coming around that. But I just want to make sure that it's clear that we can still run a full restaurant. So my suggestion for consideration is just remove the word solely. It just says it can be used for this, and then obviously can be used for things that it's permitted to be used for, right?
Okay. Yep, I think that should be fine.
Okay. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, and actually, I found your email. So
Okay.
since I have it in front of me, I can go through it.
Okay,
So
perfect.
in the second paragraph, your second request with respect to the fourth paragraph of the operations section, you would like to suggest that consideration be given to changing the opening text from all deliveries shall be scheduled during off-peak operating hours to all deliveries by large trucks shall be delivered no earlier than 7:30 a.m. or later than 10 p.m. And personally, with respect to that, I mean, from my perspective, delivery trucks have backup emitters, regardless of whether they're large or small. And so, I mean, it seems to me that 10:30, the times that we suggested are reasonable for deliveries.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the bigger point there was, and Briggs on the phone too, but is that the timing, we talked to the abutters and they were comfortable with that timing. And so the idea is not to have anything real late or real early to be waking people up. So we also talked large vehicles. The idea was, Briggs maybe comment, but like sometimes they'll buy like, local product like cheese from a farm, and somebody shows up in a car and drops off a box of cheese. And so that's why we went with the large vehicles. But I think you're right. If it's restricted to just the time, we could say, don't drop you off your cheese after 10,
Yeah, or before 7:30 in the morning.
Before 7:30, yeah. So I think it's fine.
Yes.
You okay with that, Brig?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I think the language that was proposed originally says during off-peak operating hours, and I think we weren't really sure what that all meant. But what we're discussing tonight makes sense. So no deliveries earlier than 7:30 or later than 10 p.m. Yep.
Okay. All right, and then the third item is that with respect to dumpsters, dumpster pickup shall not occur, you're suggesting before 7:30 a.m. or after 10 p.m. I mean, you really anticipate that dumpster pickups are going to be like after 6 p.m.?
So I'll just address this, Chair, if you don't mind. So, I mean, the idea is that we're just going to align deliveries and dumpster so that they just occur within the window of 7:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sometimes, at the winery we get, anyways, we just feel like that's what we discussed with the abutters, and we don't want to be disruptive. And so we're kind of keeping the dumpster pickup to be consistent with the delivery timeframe too.
Okay, all right. So members of the board, any issue with respect to that? Glenn, Jody, Dave?
I don't
No.
if the abutters don't.
Yeah, these times are, they were definitely discussed. And then in the correspondence between us, we proposed that as the timing, and in person they said yes, and they came back and agreed with it. agree with it. So I don't think you're gonna have any issues with that unless they change their mind, but they just didn't want late night stuff, 3 in the morning, some guys coming picking up a dumpster. We get it.
Yeah, we definitely don't want that.
Yeah, not that. Nobody wants that.
Okay, all right. So then with those 3 modifications, did someone wish to make a motion to approve the granting of the special permits and site plan approval?
Can I make a
I'll
comment
move.
before you do that? I'm sorry to interject, but there was one other point that was in that note regarding the fence. You kind of referenced it earlier, but we have talked with the abutters and they prefer the vertical fence. Our architect doesn't, but we told him we prefer it now.
Okay.
So it's a vertical fence and they want the post on their side. And so, the way the decision is worded says that we need to agree with the butters. We've already agreed with them. So I'm thinking you could just word it to say, do that.
Okay, all right, so yeah, we'll modify that to a 6-foot
Okay.
fence and take out the provision regarding neighborhood approval.
Yeah, perfect.
All right,
Thank you very much.
okay. All right, and is there a second?
Second.
Okay, and Glenn second. All right, now roll call vote. So when we go, Glenn,
Yes.
okay, Jody,
Yes,
Dave Monaz,
Yes.
and Bob Moriarty, yes. All right, so since David Merrill was not here, you did need a unanimous vote, and you do have unanimous vote. So the decision is approved 4-0. We'll get this filed with the town clerk within the next few days, and then you'll be on your way.
Thank you very much. We appreciate all your good work.
Okay.
So Tim, when can we make
Congratulations,
reservations?
Well,
Yeah.
let me talk to the general contractor. And nothing's easy, but yeah, we're anxious to get started and so soon.
Great.
Okay.
Soon.
Tim, can I ask a quick question? Sorry,
Certainly, of
my
course.
camera's not working. This is Rick Bernard from Benjamin Architects. I just wanted to ask a quick
Yeah.
clarification question. So, does any appeal period or any official kind of clock starting from this meeting or the previous meeting that was voted on the first time?
The official clock starts when we file with the town clerk.
Okay.
And the appeal period for that is 20 days.
Yeah.
But since this is a special permit, the applicant is permitted to proceed at his own risk during any potential appeal period. So
Okay.
you can still get the building permit and start moving. So,
Great. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
All right.
thanks for the
so
clarification.
I guess the only question I have is it Resi or open table?
That's Brink can answer that.
I don't think it's going to be either, but we'll see. We'll make it easy for you, Bob, regardless. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, great. All right. Look, as we said, we're all looking forward to it, and congratulations, and
Thank
get
you.
moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All
See
right. Thank you.
you.
Okay. Good night. All right. The second item on our agenda is a public hearing on the application of Paul DeSimone for a special permit to allow the operation of a fitness facility, Assessor's Map 7, Lot 7, Business Park Zoning District. And let me read the notice. Notice is hereby given that the Topsfield Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, April 28, 2026 at 7 p.m. to consider the application of Paul DeSimone, the applicant, for premises located at 461 Boston Street, Unit A1, Topsfield, Mass. Assessor's Map 7, Lot 7 in the Business Park zoning district, requesting a special permit to allow the operation of a fitness facility. Robert J. Moriarty, Chairman, Topsfield Zoning Board of Appeals. All right, we'll open the public hearing now. Mr. DeSimone, are you here? Do I see him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Could you identify yourself?
Yeah, I'm Paul DeSimone.
Okay. All right. Can you explain to us what it is that you have in mind?
Yep, sure. So I basically do one-on-one personal training mostly, and maybe small groups of like 2 to 3 people is mainly how I train. And I've been doing that for the past 3 years. I've been, training people for 26 years now, but for the past 3 years, that's basically what I've done. And that's basically what I want to do. In the
Okay.
space.
So when you say train, what is the training that you do? Hours of operation, number of people that you would expect to see in a day. As I said, what hours would you be seeing them, and
So basically,
signage.
Yep. As of right now, I train people from 11 a.m. till about 4 p.m. daily. That's about it because I don't have a ton of clients. And because I do just one-on-one training, it's like, we're working with weights, machines, stretching, stuff like that. And most days I see 5 to 6 people. I'm hoping to make, have more than that and expand my hours. But that's basically what I've been doing for the past 2 years.
Okay. All right. And so do you anticipate that you'll have signage, or if you negotiated with the landlord?
I'd be the owner,
Or
but
oh,
the HOA for signage, I'm not sure exactly what I would do other than on the door itself because that building doesn't, I believe, allow anything on the sides. So it would just be like printed on the door. From
okay.
what I know.
Okay. All right. Glenn, any comments or questions?
No, honestly, this one seemed relatively straightforward.
Okay. All right. Jody Kleinoff?
Do you have direct neighbors where the noise of the weights might interfere with them? Do you know, or
There are
is it?
there's neighbors, but they are they're mosquito squad.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know who they are. So they had just, they're in there once in a while doing things. So technically, I don't think it would be something that's going to be slamming, waking up the mosquito squad guys.
Right. And this is a single story building, is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, no other questions.
Okay. Dave Monez?
I was going to ask about parking, but I'm just looking at the site. There's plenty of parking, so I think we're good.
Okay. All right. How big of a space is it that you actually will be using?
So the building unit is about almost 2,000 square feet. It's like 1990 something. And basically I'd be using most of the space for, machines and weights. And I would have my office in the front, which is it's already there. And then there's 2 bathrooms to the side. So that obviously won't be used. But the rest of it I would use.
Okay. All right. So do you envision having other people come in and work with you, or, larger groups at any point?
Not really. You mean like having like other trainers or something?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I've never actually had other trainers with me because it's kind of like you get like competition, button heads, and then it's not actually good for business.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sounds fine to me. So, all All right, is there a motion to close the public hearing? Oh, I'm sorry, before we rush to that, is there anyone from the public who is here for this hearing wish to be heard? No? Okay. All right, then is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
All right. In a second?
Second.
Okay. And is there a motion to approve the granting of the special permit?
I'll make a motion.
Okay. And Glenn will second?
I'll second, yeah.
All right. All right. All right. And roll call vote. Glenn,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Dave Winez,
Yes.
and Bob Moriarty. Yes. Okay. It was unanimously granted. So we will get a decision drafted in the next, probably within 10 days, probably. And that will be filed with the town clerk. Any appeal period will run from that, but since it is a special permit, speak with the building inspector if you want to get going quicker, and I'm sure you'll be able to work something out.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Wish you well.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Next item on the agenda is 18 Central Street, a hearing on the application of Adamir Tosca on behalf of Glenn Holbrook Manos, the owner of the property, for a finding pursuant to Article 3, Section 3.05 of the bylaw, and a variance from Article 4, Section 4.02 of the bylaw to allow the construction of a proposed accessory dwelling unit with side setbacks of 2.5 feet, where 10 feet is required on a lot that does not conform to the current requirements for acreage, frontage, and setbacks. The property is located at Assessor's Map 41, Lot 41, and I'll read the notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that the Topsfield Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, April 28, 2026 at 7 p.m. to consider the application of Adamir Tosca on behalf of Glenn Holbrook Manos, the owner, for premises located at 18 Central Street, Topsfield, Massachusetts, Assessor's Map 41, Lot 41, requesting a finding pursuant to Article 3, Section 3.05 of the bylaw, and a variance from Article 4, Section 4.02 of the bylaw to allow construction of a proposed accessory dwelling unit with side setbacks of 2.5 feet, where 10 feet is required on a lot that does not conform to current requirements for acreage, frontage, and side setbacks. All right.
Hello, everyone.
So, Mr. Tosca, I see you're here. Are you going to speak on behalf?
Yes, I'm here. I'm the architect of drawings, and I'm here to present the project. Can I share the screen?
Yes.
I just send a request. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
So this is the project where we are locating the proposed ADU, which is around 618 gross square footage. The owner, Glenn, is looking to build that ADU for his in-laws that are living in the house. He's trying to build the ADU. He has the existing garage. So the dotted line represents the existing garage, which we are demoing the existing garage. And we're pushing the building a bit off in the back to build the ADU. I can show the floor plans. Like this is, it's going to be like one bedroom just for his in-law. This is the first floor where we are putting the small kitchen and a small living area and a half bath and the stairs that are going up with two means of egress that are required by code. And then On the second floor, we're having only one bedroom with one bath. And I can show you the building elevation as well. We're trying to repeat what is existing in the house in order to match it. So I also built the 3D of the house there, just so you can see the proportion that we're not going to go above the existing house height. The height we're proposing, we are about 22 feet above grade. I will say 20 feet above the first level, but it's like 22 feet above grade because it's pretty flat land. And this is the 3D view. Again, I tried to put the house there as much as I could. It's not, perfectly the existing house because I didn't measure everything, but just so you guys can see how the ADU will stand next to the existing house. So this is the existing, and this is the dash one is the proposed ADU.
Okay. And could you go over again where the first presentation where the setbacks are?
Correct.
Yeah, because I don't know if you can enlarge that any.
Yeah, sure. So this
Okay.
is the proposed ADU building. That is the architecture site plan that I'm putting the required setback, which we are, again, the required setback is 10 feet, but we are 2.2 foot 6. We were less with the existing garage. So what I'm doing, I'm pushing the building in the back in order to kind of, to work a little bit with that because we were like about 1 foot at this point here. And I have as well the proposed plot plan. So that's where the existing garage is. And that's what we're proposing the ADU. This is the plot plan and this is the architectural site plan.
Okay. And how close is the building to your right?
3 feet.
So it's 3 feet off the property line?
Oh, you mean for the rear setback, you mean? No, we are far off.
Yeah,
We're
the property adjacent to you on the right. One of your slides showed a portion of the building. I was having trouble really getting a sense of.
So this is the existing building.
I think the plot plan.
Oh, you want me to
plot
go
plan up again?
Yeah, let me go. Yeah, that's the plot plan.
Okay. And so the building to the right is, I can't read the number on it, but so that house is maybe 5 feet off the property line.
You mean the neighbor house, the right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have no clue, but looks like more than 5 feet because, again, we did a plot plan for the client property, but if we are like 2.5 there, that looks like about 10 foot from the property line. I mean, again, I'm just assuming here. I don't have hard dimension on that.
Yeah, no, I understand. So the existing garage, is it a one-level garage, or can you describe that to
It is one.
what the
one
existing
story.
conditions are?
Correct. It is one-story garage. It's really in bad shape. That's why we're demoing because it's like really in rough shape. And since the ADU came out and the owner of the house is looking to accommodate his in-laws, he's building that ADU. He's demoing the whole garage and building an ADU because the garage is sitting on a slab.
Okay.
He wanted previously to build it where it is, but the garage doesn't have foundation. So it was my suggestion to push the building in the back a little bit so it is far off from the existing house and, to maintain a better right setback, even though we're like very tight.
Okay. So where is the septic system?
The septic system, I think, is somewhere. I don't quite remember because he didn't put it, but I know it is somewhere over here. That's why I'm staying on that far side of the right. I think it's somewhere here. It didn't The surveyor didn't put it. Oh, no, it's right here, septic, it says, right? Looks like,
Right, it's got the manhole access structure shown, but not the leaching
Yeah.
field. But looks like it would be on that side of the site.
yeah, it looks like it's somewhere here.
Okay.
But it's,
All right.
we didn't locate it.
And is there any reason why you couldn't have pushed the building further off the property line?
I mean, to push it to the left.
Yeah.
We were just under, we were thinking like, because it's the existing garage, and again, the owner started with just building where the garage is. But like I said, the garage sits on the slab and the new code doesn't allow the new building to be built on the slab. So he kind of want to maintain it where the garage is. And
Okay.
there is like
But
a
I mean,
pad.
there's a substantial difference between a one-story dilapidated garage and a 22-foot dwelling in terms of visual and impact on the abutters.
I didn't measure the garage, but even the garage has a gable roof. So it's like, I will say the garage is around like 16 foot, but I didn't measure it, the existing. But I get your concern.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that, that's why I initially asked about the septic system to see whether or not, in fact, it was in this vicinity. So is there a new septic being installed to accommodate the ADU?
That will be a question for the plumbing. Whatever the plumbing will ask us, we will do it. If they say that, hey, we need like a new septic, we will do a new septic, but we haven't gotten that far.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm just trying to determine where, whether there's space available.
Yeah, we will do.
In order to move.
Yeah, we will do what they request.
Okay. All right. And will you do what we request?
Yes, that's why we're here.
So, yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm concerned with the precedent that this sets of putting an ADU in a very already somewhat dense location that close to the property line, particularly where it's not a situation where there isn't room for you to have moved it back from the property line. But
it is a small building. It's like only like about 14.5 by 24. And by pushing it more, it's going to be really behind the house. And again, we were under the impression like to follow the line of the existing garage. That's why we're locating it there.
yeah, no, I can understand that. So, so you're aware that, I mean, the standard for a variance is fairly strict in terms of meeting the statutory criteria for size, shape, topography, and special conditions that are conditions that are special to the lot and a hardship. So I struggle to find how you satisfy the statutory criteria for granting of a variance. And as I said, from my impression, that certainly the building could be moved further off of the property line. But I don't know, it's something to consider. So let me ask the other members of the board whether they have any questions or concerns that they want to raise. So Glenn, I see you first.
Yeah, no, I didn't have enough time to dive into all the language of the bylaws that are being asked to have a variance applied to. But the one positive thing I see, and I would love to hear from the abutters who I see are present. I do appreciate that they've pushed it back from the street, right? So that gives a little bit more relief for what feels like a much larger or certainly massive, even though it's small. The massing is significantly different than the garage. But it's nice that it's pushed back, but I agree if space allowed with the septic system and the other site constraints for it to scoot inboard, that would certainly be preferable.
Okay.
Mhm.
Jody?
Are trees being cut down to make way for this space? I was looking at aerial maps and it looked like that area was fairly densely wooded.
There is only one tree that is being requested from the right neighbor to the owner to cut that, which is somewhere located here. And Glenn, the owner, is like, now is the time. So it's apparently it's only one tree that is requested from, again, from the right neighbor to be cut. And we are looking to cut it if, you know, if everything goes through, it's located somewhere here.
And then
In a
I
way,
saw,
he's offering that to the neighbor in order to get this
I
approved.
saw in the application that it's going to be, I think, 3 feet higher than the present structure. Is that what I read? But I guess my bigger question, well, I guess I was wondering about that. If you're adding a second story, 3 feet doesn't seem like it's much of a difference. But is it? You said it's going to be no higher than the house.
Correct. No higher than
Okay.
the house. Yeah, we don't
Okay.
want the new building to, you know, to be as present. That's why we push it in the back and we follow the existing line of the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Okay.
said, by pushing the building, I kind of make, you know, the setback a bit, you know, better than what it was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to be like higher than the existing house. No,
Okay.
not at all.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess, I mean, otherwise, you know, I guess I agree that if it were able to be pushed back further, it seems like it would, satisfy the requirements better. But I think, more than anything, I was just concerned about the mass from the road, how it would look. And with the dormers, it does look like it will be, you know, it will at least, I know it won't be a very large building, but visually to me, it looks like it will look large. But that's my only concern.
Okay. Dave Moniz?
Do you know how many square feet you're proposing?
618 gross square footage is 309 first, 309 the second, and net square footage are 582, excluding the exterior walls. So 582 net and
And
about
It's
680.
22 feet long and how many feet wide?
24 by 49.
And it's only 500 plus square feet?
It's 618 total, like 309 first floor, 309 second floor.
And is there a basement?
No, no basement. No, it's only first floor and second floor. That's all. It's going to be only frosted wall.
So visually, when I saw it, I'm like, why in the world would someone put it so close to the neighbor and so close to the existing house? Because does the property line go like the outer dotted line? Is that the property line?
This one is
In the back, what's the end of the property line?
It's right there, and this is the required setback. This is the required setback because they have 30 feet setback, and this is the property line.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's in a tough spot. I would actually think it would be better to ask for a variance on that back setback and push the building over to the left so that you're not on top of the neighbor on the right. But I mean, there's got to be a reason why you would do it this way, but it doesn't, to me, it doesn't make sense.
Like I said, we were trying again. The starting point was with the existing garage to just do it there since it's the existing. Because if we leave the garage there, then, you know, it's like, it's not significant bigger than the garage. So the intention was to build it right where the garage is, and I came up with an idea to push it in the back in order to maintain a better side setback and making it like appear like further in the back. But again, because we have an existing garage here that is existing, it's not demo yet, right there. And we just follow the line of the existing.
I see David Merrill has joined us. Welcome, David. So again, it seems to me that even without a variance for the rear setback, you certainly seem to have a good 4 to 5 feet that you could have moved it back and could have moved it over. But I am belaboring that point. But so let me turn to the abutters and see what we have in terms of comments from those abutters who are here. So abutters who wish to be heard.
Yes, hi, good
Okay.
evening. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes. Could you identify yourself by your
Yes.
name and address, please?
Yes, good evening. I'm Gretchen Rehack. I'm joined with my husband, Walter Rehack. We are at 20 Central. We are the direct abutters to 18 Central Street. I don't know if you all received it, but we sent a fairly lengthy note on April 22nd to the chair, as well as to what we thought was the ZBA email address, stating our concerns. And as well as Lynn Bermudez had told me that that was going to be sent. So I'm not sure if the other members of the committee have seen that. We did go into fairly in-depth specifics about our issues and concerns. Was that received by other members?
I don't think that the other members have received it. The compounding the issue with losing our administrative person, they've also switched to a new web system, and we haven't really reached a point where we're able to get letters from the public up. So I saw your letter and knew that you would be participating this evening. And so I was hoping that you could go over those concerns that you expressed in your letter.
Yes, I would be happy to, and I will certainly not take the time to read our entire letter, which we did spend some time really looking at the issues. Just by way of background, we purchased our home at 20 Central Street in 1995. So we've been here for 30 years. And I am a longtime Topsfield resident. My 91-year-old mother still lives in town. As we stated in this letter, the concept of the ADU, we very much support. I think we hope that our children someday would come back and live in the town. But so the philosophy of the ADU, we very much support. However, we have some very, very significant issues with this proposed plot and proposal. And just quick way of background, and then I'll let my husband do the specifics. We learned of this, our daughter in mid-March was home when we were away and said that the garage next door at 18 Central was being demoed. So in mid-March, we got a phone call that the garage was demoed. So when we came home around March 23rd, I went to the building inspector and asked if there was any indication of plans. He knew of nothing that was planned. I went to the Board of Health and asked if there was any plans, and she looked in the pipeline and through the online program, there was nothing noted. I then went to the town clerk And she told me that indeed that there was a proposal that was going to be presented on April 28th, this evening. I told her I had heard nothing as an abutter. She said that I should expect to get an abutter's letter. On April 11th, we got an abutter's notice, which, as you may note, the abutter's list goes as far as 26 Central Street and in the contiguous areas. So we were notified on April 26th, April 11th. I then went back to the town clerk, and then learning that we had the abutter's letter, she gave me a copy of the site plan. So that's the first time that we were able to look at the plans and to see the just how close it is. And now I'll turn it over because I get a little emotional about it, but my husband will speak to the specifics of that, the presentation that's been presented thus far.
Again, echoing what Gretchen just said, which is the concept of the ADU is a good concept, but there's a right place and a wrong place. Everything on Central Street is tight. In particular, probably the first 4 or 5 houses going down Central Street. And so the concerns we have, I'll go over some of them. I may miss some that are out there, but first off, there are only 2 parking spaces at that location. My understanding is with the ADU, you need to add a parking space. As far as I can see and know, there isn't one. Every single night, there's 2 to 3 cars parked along the sidewalk, and that has, one, created a gigantic safety hazard in our neighborhood for people who walk their dogs, and for kids who walk to school every day, okay, Monday to Friday. When it snows, those trucks that they have, and they run and they park commercial trucks there every night. You can go over to the Verizon lot right now, and they parked a dump truck over there because, for whatever reason, the other cars were parked on the sidewalk. When it snows, they plow the sidewalk and block it so that the public works can't even run and plow the sidewalk. They go around and then come back in at our house to plow the sidewalk. I don't know if that's anything you guys want to deal with as far as the liability of the town that's supposed to make sure that the kids can walk to school. But they have to walk in the street. Everybody who's walking their dog has to. That's one safety concern that we have. 2, when we did improvements to our home, we had to be aware of the river protection zone, of which I'm not sure because I can't really tell because at this time, does this, if you push it back, are you pushing it into the river protection zone? So when we did any of the improvements to our home, we had to be aware of that and stay out of that. So without knowing and this being so quick at us, I don't know if that comes into play, but my understanding is you're going to add another bedroom that then impacts the septic, as was brought up a little bit. Is it approved for 3 or is it approved for 4? Because currently it's a 3-bedroom house. And if you add an ADU that's a 4th bedroom, is it a 4-bedroom septic or do they have to do a new septic because of that? As to the demolition, as my wife stated, it was demoed back in March. So the architect, have you gone by there recently? Because right now there are about 1.5 feet worth of sticks sticking up so that they can hold the position of the previous garage. The previous garage was 12 feet high, just barely overlooking our 8-foot tall fence. So if you want to put a second story on, you're almost doubling the size of what was previously there. We enjoy our backyard. We've done a lot of work on our backyard. And the fact that we'd have this hulking building 2.5 feet away from our yard is not something we look forward to for the remainder of our time at 20 Central Street. So I think those are the things off the top of my head that I can take a look at. And again, it's within 2.5 feet of the plot line. That's my fence right there that goes straight up and down. And you can walk between the fence and the house shoulder wide, and that's it. So I'm not looking forward to having a second story going up and over, whether it has windows or not, and I don't want any windows. having that overlooking our backyard is not something I'm looking forward to. Yeah, you know what? I requested that tree to come down 5 years ago. So all of a sudden he started to take some branches down recently. So I'm not seeing as he's doing me any favors. 2/3 of that tree leans into my yard. You know, and so amongst other things, this isn't the way I would have liked to have dealt with this, but you bring up some good points. Why can't it go behind the house? There's plenty of room behind the house, and it moves it away from the property line. And it takes it out of the overlook of our yard. You know, I know when we've gone before the board, we've had to make adjustments. Maybe they should. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other abutters or neighbors who wish to be heard?
Yes, this is Vernon Haug, and I'm here with my daughter, Tiffany. We live at 14 Central Street. We basically reflect the same concerns that the REHECs had with regards to parking, setbacks, septic, and the conservation, you know, the stream out back. So, and you know, we have also been exploring adding an addition or an ADU to this house, taking advantage of the buildings that are currently on the property and keeping within that. You know, I agree. I think, you know, if there's any way to move the proposed ADU back a bit and then over to the left to keep it, you know, off the property lines and more aligned to the setbacks, I think would be very worthwhile. But this is the first I've seen of everything, so I'm just kind of, you know, absorbing, you know, all of the information that's being presented at this point.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else?
Yes, this is Hernani da Silva. I'm the GC and also Topsfield resident.
I'm sorry, could you, if you have available, could you turn your camera on?
Oh, sure. If I can get that done. There we go. They're good.
And identify yourself, name and address.
Sure. Her name is Da Silva. I'm at 51 Valley Road. I'm the GC for the proposed project for Glen at 18 Central. So I just want to, you know, there's a lot of questions about the 3 bedrooms and the septic. He did talk to the septic company. So they're using the house now as a 2-bedroom. So, and the upstairs they have the 2 rooms that are supposed to be the bedroom 2 and 3. And their plans are to take the wall out and that make a bigger bedroom, make it 2 bedrooms, and then adding the ADU. So therefore, their septic tank, they said it should be fine. They don't need to do an upgrade for the septic tank. In regards to the garage, Glenn told me, and I didn't want to interrupt you guys, with the snow, the garage fell off on this winter. That's why it's sitting there, and they didn't put the perimeter or anything. It felt, you know, it was a pretty bad condition. It was with the snow. It completely fell off. That's why they took it off. So those are the 2 points, and that I want to just make you guys aware. I could go and see and talk to Edmir about the possibility of moving the house, the ADU, to the back and see if that's going to be possible.
Okay. All right. Yeah, just
One second, my daughter would also like to say something if we might.
sure.
Thank
If
you.
you could, sure, that'd be fine. If you could identify yourself, please.
Yes, I'm Tiffany Haug at 14 Central Street. So I think echoing the REAC's position on the concept of the ADU is great. My concern is among all the other things that have been spoken about really is the parking issue. That is part of the ADU has to have separate parking, and I don't see that has been addressed in this plan. Already, we've talked about the insufficient amount of parking spaces that there are currently, and therefore there's parking on the street, and making that very dangerous for the people who walk on the sidewalk, the children, and anybody walking along that path. So that really is a big concern, is parking in my mind. I just wanted to reiterate that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So, we received a request to inquire. Yeah, if I can. So, I mean, you have texted me asking to inquire about the number of people living there. It's not within the scope of what this board has jurisdiction over. So, the septic system, whether or not it's adequate, whether it needs improvements, whether whether it needs to be completely replaced or not, is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Health. The zoning board, in cases like this, we typically look at the location of the septic system more in the context of whether or not there's room on the lot for something to be moved, or in relationship to the building and other things. So that's what we look to. The other thing with respect to parking, the only thing that we can look to is whether or not it meets the statutory, the minimum requirements of the zoning bylaw. So in this case, it would be 2 for the house and 1 for the ADU unit. So, that's what we would be restricted to looking at. And I don't frankly see where there's provision on the site plan for 3 parking spaces to be located. But, if they have 6 cars actually there's nothing that we can do about that. I guess it would fall within the jurisdiction of the police department if they're parking on the sidewalks or parking illegally. So we can only deal with what we're allowed to deal with. But I can say, I mean, frankly, at this point in time, I could not vote in favor of this proposal the way it currently is. It seems to me that the building could easily be moved back and further into the lot, so that it would have less impact on the abutters. I mean, there's a reason why we have side setback requirements under the zoning bylaw, and frankly, why accessory buildings such as the garage have a different setback than would a principal structure. So, and clearly the impact of a 2-story dwelling is going to have a significantly greater impact than a one-story, one-level garage. Whether it has a gable roof or doesn't have a gable roof, basically garage is, as long as it's tall enough to get your car in and out, is generally fine, and the roof doesn't really impact people on the other side. So that's kind of my sense of where we are. As I said, I could not vote in favor of this as it currently is. So Sorry.
May I ask a
somebody
question?
wanted- Yes.
So since I'm hearing all this feedback and it's a first impact, so can we move this project for the next meeting so I can, I wrote everything down. I can talk to the owner to move the building in the back. And what I'm getting from, from all the comments is like, is it fine? Is like, I mean, better to go for the rear setback than the side setback so I can push the building further in the back to you guys? I mean, because I can work all this out, I can, accommodate the parking and all that. But can we move this project for the next meeting so I can get all this feedback and, update the project?
Yeah, I think that's an excellent idea. That's what I was just about to suggest, that we do postpone this.
It's certainly an iterative process, especially such a complex and tight site as this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right.
Okay, guys.
So, yeah, I mean, members of the board, Dave or Jody, any further comments or thoughts?
One thing before we leave, can we?
Yeah.
No, I think revision would be a good idea, especially getting the feedback from the neighbors.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I think we'll just see if something better can be arranged.
I will.
Okay.
And I will make sure to have the septic in the plot plan as well by next
Okay.
meeting.
Dave Moniz, anything?
No, you're still muted.
Okay. You're muted, Dave.
Sorry. My first comment still stands that it's kind of in a not easy place to build, as far as satisfying zoning and neighbors and everything else, and to move it back and to the left seems to make all the sense in the world.
Okay. All right. David Merrill?
I tend to agree. I don't see why it has to be this close to the sideline. And I think that if we could move it back and center it better, it might be more palatable to the neighbors.
Okay. All right, great. All right, then I will take David Merrill's comments as a motion to continue the public hearing.
Bob, I think the Rehacks had a question. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for your time and consideration of this, and all the hours that you spend on this. We would respectfully request that prior to the next meeting, that all members receive a copy of our concerns, as well as there was an extensive letter written to Chief Hovey from neighbor Sandy Reagan about the safety concerns. There was also a letter written by Gene Ramsey of Main Street. And I have also had conversations where there's a concern about fire hazards, and Jen Collins Brown has not had the opportunity to weigh in. So my understanding is in October and November of this year, the Traffic Advisory Committee was really studying traffic on Central Street. So to really understand the whole picture and to ensure that there is the adequate parking as required for the ADU, there needs to be 3 parking spaces. And as my husband just noted, if I step out my doorstep right now and look 20 feet, there are currently 5 vehicles, 2 on the sidewalk, 1 in the Verizon lot, an ATV in the side yard, blocking the sidewalk, and 2 in the driveway. So I so appreciate your careful scrutiny of this project. Again, we support the concept of an ADU, but this is really completely thrown us, and to see these site plans, they are just really, really distressing. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Is there a second for the motion to continue the public hearing?
Yes.
Anyone has? And roll call vote. Glenn Golrad,
Yes.
Jody Kleiniff,
Yes.
Dave Monaz,
Yes.
David Merrill,
Yes.
and Bob Moriarty. Yes. Okay, so the public hearing will be continued until our next meeting, which is in May, and that will be on the fourth Tuesday. That will be May 26th, 2026.
Correct.
Okay, all right. So good luck. I hope you can make some progress, and
We'll
we
make
will
it
see
work.
you in a month.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
help. Thank you, everyone.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on our agenda is our minutes. And first item is the minutes from February 26, 2026. So Jody, as usual, has reviewed them with a fine-tooth comb and discovered that it indicated we had continued the public hearing until 2028, which probably was not a good idea. So we have that one change, and unless anyone else had any other changes, I will move that we approve the February public hearing minutes, rather. And is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. And roll call, Glenn?
Yes.
Okay. Dave Monaz?
Yes.
Jody Klanoff?
Yes.
And Bob Moriarty? Yes. And David Merrill, since you were not there, you can't vote. And now for the March minutes, again, Jody found one place in which AI had suggested that Sarah Powers in a butter was going to do something which was not accurate. So we're going to delete the suggestion that she was going to present something. And other than that, any other changes? No? Okay.
No,
Then
those
I
are both
move.
pretty straightforward.
Okay.
I just
move-
noticed that Glenn's last name is misspelled, but that's not a big deal. Mine is misspelled in the February ones.
That's a lifelong curse.
Yours is misspelled in the February one? Oh my goodness. It's AI. Okay, spelling. Okay. And then Jody, did you second? Did I hear that? You
Yeah,
second?
yeah, I'll second. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Glenn?
Yep.
Dave Monaz?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
And Dave Merrill, you were not there again, so you cannot vote on it.
There was one
And
comment
Bob
I had
Moriarty
about that.
votes yes.
Your grandson was
but-
playing sax or something.
Yeah.
I know, but
The
on one of
saxophone.
those two sets of minutes, and I don't know which one, it has me voting on an issue, and you might just check that out. I got to look at it again.
Okay.
That's a good point.
All right.
That was March.
I think you looked at the March.
Yep. By there, no.
Okay.
It has me. I'm sure I would have voted yes if I had been there, but
Yep.
Sure you would have. You're a very agreeable person. All right. So the next up is a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Dave Monaz is second. And Glenn?
Yes.
Okay. Dave Monaz?
Yes.
Jody Klanoff?
Yes.
David Merrill, I'm going to let you vote on this one.
I appreciate your patience, everybody. I finally managed to get on, and I'll say yes to adjourning.
All right, great, thank you. And Bob Moriarty, yes. Okay,